everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of our interview series. And today's guest is going to be Bill Hudson, the founder and the guitarist of the international superband NorthTale. And he will obviously shine some light on the current lineup situation and the follow-up album to the Welcome to Paradise. So stay tuned.
Yeah, how's it going, man?
All is good. Thanks a lot for finding time, Bill. Appreciate it a lot. Yeah, I just realized you were in Florida. For some reason, I thought you were over in Europe. you know.
Well, because half of us are.
Yeah.
You know? So, and we, I guess most people think of us as a Swedish band, but no, I'm in Florida, and actually, so is my drummer, who's also
really?
Swedish, but he lives here.
Yeah, I saw you just posted a picture on Instagram, right, together. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so how's it going there? We hear some very disturbing news, and with COVID-19 not being the scariest ones.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it wasn't something any of us was expecting to happen. Unfortunately, we had to part ways with Christian, which bums me out a lot personally because, NorthTale is my child. It started as my solo project. So like Shape Your Reality, Evangelho Rio, Time to Rise. All those were songs that I had for a long time that were initially going to be released on a solo. When I met Christian, I was auditioning singers. I had already auditioned a lot of singers. Like I probably have Shape Your Reality with like 15 different singers between well-known and not well-known, not so well-known, of people that I tried out, and I could never find a guy. When I found Christian, I was like, cool, this guy is fucking amazing, and to have him be my singer in my solo album is a waste, So I would rather this become a band, So we decided to become a band, but a lot of people say that democracy doesn't work in bands, and I hate to say that sometimes that's true. And things like Christian and I started essentially disagreeing about everything. And the last couple of, disagreements that we had were things that can't really be fixed, and the last one, he was actually going against the entire band, it wasn't, although I have to say it was a personal thing between me, like the rest of the band wasn't, and I want to make this clear with the press because they want to. The rest of the band were not part of firing him.
Okay.
So, our keyboard player even made it public that he didn't want it to happen. However, we couldn't, as a band, come to an agreement as what to do instead.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's why this happened.
That makes sense. And was this kind of disagreement on musical, stuff, or it's more of a personality issues that you can work together?
No, it was never a personality issue. Christian is a very, he's a very nice guy. We've become pretty close friends, especially at the beginning. It was more musical. But I would say it has to do with personality because it's different ways of handling situations. Things that but I'm to blame too. I'm very, very, very hard-headed. So we had our butt heads, we had our issues, but it wasn't. I have nothing bad to say against the guy as a singer. Yeah. He remains one of my favorite singers.
He's great. Yeah, absolutely.
And I have and about personality, I wish we met in another way. I wish we were just friends. I wish NorthTale never. I don't wish NorthTale never happened, but I wish NorthTale never ruined our relationship. Okay. So I haven't spoken to him in months.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
As always, in such cases, there's a lot of controversy going on, and even your fans, they kind of separate into different camps, unfortunately. And this is, this is terrible. This is not something we want to hear. We want to enjoy music and stuff, right? Can you lay down some chronology of the events? Because you just mentioned that you haven't spoken together for months now, when the announcement just came out a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He hasn't been a part of NorthTale since, I want to say, February.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And for a little while, I was trying to make it work still, but it didn't. And I wanted to. I still wanted to. It's not that I had hope, but I was trying to delay the announcement as much as I could.
Yeah.
And I mean, with the pandemic, we had a festival in July that got postponed before we were even announced on the festival.
Yeah.
Then we had another festival in September, which Prague Power, but we weren't. But I mean, that's postponed to next year too. So I'm like, we have time, we have time. And my idea was to silently audition singers until we found the right fit, and then make all the announcements at once.
Yeah.
And that would have been the ideal way to go about it.
It would make more sense, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, but then one day I wake up and the world is falling on my head, and I have all these calls and all these texts from everyone, and I mean everyone, people from magazines, people from labels, other musicians, like a lot. I'm like, oh my God, what just happened? Is Christian out of the band? Is Christian out of the band? Is Christian out? I'm like, fuck. So I go and I see that he posted an ad for vocal lessons where he stated former singer of NorthTale. So, I mean, it was his choice, to go that route. So we had to kind of slap together a statement and become public, But I mean, I would have handled it differently if I had the chance.
I mean, let's just hope that NorthTale comes out stronger out of this, right? I mean, hopefully it will. Yeah.
I have to say that the musical differences that we were having, this I'm not afraid to say. The musical differences that we were having was holding me back seriously with the writing of the second album.
Okay.
So we were communicating with the entire band and being like, we have to start writing a new album. But I couldn't come up with anything. I came up with like half a song. Now, keep in mind, Welcome to Paradise, every song aside from 3 is mine. Christian brought 3 songs, well, 4 if you count the bonus track, Way of the Life. But 2 are ballads. He wrote Rhythm of Life and Welcome to Paradise. And those are partnerships anyway. But all the rest is my music. And I couldn't come up with anything. It just wasn't coming out. When we parted ways, within the 2 weeks after, I demoed 6 new songs. Because then I wasn't thinking, well, Christian doesn't like this, Christian doesn't like this, Christian doesn't like that, which is what was starting to happen.
Okay.
Oh, I can't write a part like this because he's not going to sing it. I can't write this because he's not going to do it. So not having that sort of, that kind of like, what do you say, the restriction, made me just write what I felt. And I'm really, I have to say, man, that the new album is so, the songs, at least, they're so good, in my opinion, that I kind of want to just put them out right now.
Good.
Yeah, we don't have a singer. I sing on the demos, and I'm a very bad singer. The demos sound like funny as shit. But I melodized my voice enough for the note to be there.
All right.
So it's like a really bad singer singing in perfect key. But I hear it, and I'm like, oh my God, why can't we just release this now?
So you haven't found the replacement yet, right?
No. But the short answer is no. I'm auditioning lots of people.
Okay.
But I haven't. I have 2, perhaps now even 3. I got a new guy contact us recently that is sort of unknown, and I was a little bit, wow, how do I not know this guy? So I'm giving that guy consideration now. We have 2 others. One is very well known in the power metal world, but not. It's not Fabio Leone, for everybody asking. It's not Fabio Leone.
I think it was the first guess, honestly.
Dude, there's so much of that on our page. There's memes and shit saying that it's going to be him. So it's someone that's not quite so known, but someone that like people haven't heard from in a while.
Okay.
And then the other one is a little less well known. He's in a power metal band that's kind of in the same genre and size as NorthTale. They have a couple more albums than we do, but it's a concept band and all that. And this guy he has a voice that, in my opinion, is very similar to Christian. And actually the approach that he has to the notes, to the melodies I write, like, it just reminds me of him a lot. So this is the other possible candidate. I'm trying really hard to stick though with the style. I don't want to get a Christian sound alike, but I definitely don't want to change the style. I don't want to go more aggressive. I don't want to, because that's normally what happens too. A power metal band releases a really like happy sounding first album, and then on the second album they get all heavy and modern and add screams. I don't want any of that. I still want that clear high voice.
Okay, that's pretty cool. And you were deemed to be a super band from the very beginning of the very first announcement. With a partnership with Chris and so on. And this time it doesn't look like you're looking for a well-known only singer. You're right. You're choosing from a variety, right? You're going for a sound rather than for a name. Is that correct?
Absolutely. In fact, between you and I guess everybody that's watching this, but no, in fact, I'm kind of not looking for someone so well known. I like, there's the guys, the 4 or 5 singers that have been in every album that I could get them, and I actually spoke a lot at length with one of them, but I don't want NorthTale to be seen as a super group, because sure, you can say it because we were in other bands, but the way I see it is like Advantage is a super group, like we're just a band with a bunch of dudes that were in other bands, so I really don't want to be a project. I don't want to be a super group. I don't want to be Bill Hudson solo either. I want it to be a band.
All right, that's good. That's good to hear, actually, man. How's the atmosphere in the band right now? With the with the rest?
We've had our differences. I have to say, I have no problem admitting it. We've had our differences since the Christian thing. But we've spoken at length, and we've spoken at length. We live in different parts of the world, so we do these FaceTime calls. So we all talk at the same time. Yeah. So we've done a couple of those, and I've been forwarding the auditions to them and be like, do you guys have anyone that you want to try? Everything is good. They're really happy with, unless they're lying to me, they're really happy with the new songs.
Okay, that's good. Good to hear, man.
And and the next step is now me and Patrick are going to get together and start rehearsing some of these new songs. I haven't seen Patrick personally since the beginning of the pandemic, but now we're going to get together maybe next week and start actually rehearsing, because right now all the demos too, they're all drum machine demos. So there's no performances from anyone yet.
Absolutely, yeah. All right, man, we got the politics out. So let's talk about music now. I'll be honest with you. The first album, the reviews and everything. Your debut has been received extremely well, right? I personally wrote a review on it, and I thought it was very, rapid, powerful, and very coherent. So, congrats on this one, right? The follow-up, how is this one coming out? Musically, is it still going to be like similarly sounding one? Because NorthTale is a new band, right? You don't have an established sound yet, because one album is not enough to say, hey, this is the band's style for sure already. Right?
I've touched on that a little bit on the last answer, but I'm gonna expand on that a little bit.
I know. I just wanted to.
Yes, absolutely. It will be that. You see, I grew up listening to certain bands, and there's a pattern that you see in all of them. It's like the first album is great, and the second album is better.
Yeah.
And when that doesn't happen, when the first album is great and the second album is just okay, the band tends to crash and burn starting from that. So that's something I've always had in mind, stylistic, when it comes to the style. Now, the first album, one thing that everybody should understand, because we got great reviews, but we also got criticism for not being that original. And one thing that people should understand is that I wasn't trying to be original on the first album. I was trying to sound like a power metal record that came out in 1999 through Noise Records or something.
All right.
Like I wanted something that I would have bought alongside Stradivarius episode
Mm-hmm.
or Gamma Ray Somewhere Out in Space, because that was the time, 1998, when I was like 14. That was the time that music was growing, and my first guitar teacher was a guitar player from Angra. Like, power metal, melodic metal in general, has much to do with my upbringing as a musician.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I had a great career that didn't include any of that music.
Mm-hmm.
I've made money, and I played great shows playing music that sounds nothing like that. So my idea was, I want to release an album that could be by any of those bands. So there's the Hammerfall song, there's the Stradivarius song, there's the Halloween song, there's the Master Plan song.
True, yeah. I even got some influences from a slightly different genre, but at some point I think I heard some Judas Priest in it as well, with the intro.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Judas Priest, that's a huge influence too. And the way that I crafted most of the songs was, I was trying to put together things that I liked in the same song. You mentioned Judas Priest right now. Well, I'm pretty sure I know what song you're talking about. Bring Down the Mountain.
Yeah.
Exactly. But my idea there was, okay, what if Judas Priest and Halloween collaborated on that song? And then when it came part for the middle part, it was like, okay, we got Judas Priest, we got Halloween. How about an Yngwie Malmsteen arpeggio section now?
Mm-hmm.
So this is how I crafted the whole album.
Yeah.
Now, it didn't come out original. I didn't expect to. Now, on the second album, that's when you're going to start hearing my identity.
Mm-hmm.
Because in addition to those songs, now all this is by design. Like, I thought this before we had the first album.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the first album is going to be really straightforward. The second one is going to be that plus my influences. So, what makes, in my opinion, and I think I'm right. In my opinion, what makes NorthTale is especially the fast, happy choruses.
Mm-hmm.
The power metal anthemic choruses.
Yeah.
And which doesn't mean that the entire song has to be that. Not the entire song has to be that. They are on the first album, but now I'm exploring. I'm going, writing heavier riffs, 7-string riffs that then culminate into a very happy chorus.
Oh, interesting.
There's also, I'm originally from Brazil, so there's one song so far that is basically written around a Brazilian traditional style of music called baião,
okay,
which uses the Mixolydian with the fourth augment, Mixolydian sharp 11 scale.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in
my roommate was from São Paulo at some point. Yeah, so
all these are new things that I'm adding to what we already have.
Okay.
So the album will be heavier. It will have more acoustic guitar.
Mm-hmm.
It will have some very traditional sounding stuff that like is not power metal at all, like shouting backing vocals.
Mm-hmm.
Like, instead of being these big harmonies, we're just shouting something on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that.
All right, so it is a development. It's not a clone of Welcome to Paradise. It's going to be, a development from it, on top of it.
Yes.
Kind of.
Yes. Are you familiar with Angra's old work?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. You heard Angels Cry.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great power metal record.
Mm-hmm.
Then Angels Cry plus their influences, that's Holy Land. So that's how I'm seeing it.
Okay, makes sense. That's cool. And you mentioned none of the vocal parts, for obvious reasons, haven't been recorded yet. But what about the lyrics? Are you on top of this one, or are you waiting for the new vocalist, to contribute to this?
Well, back when Christian was in the band, I wrote some lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
The ones I happened to write were written before he was in the band.
Okay.
But I gave him a lot of ideas. Like in Everyone's a Star. Hey bro, do you even lift? He gets credit for that. That's my phrase. I was the one that texted it to him. I'm like, I like this better. But so that's the way I work a lot of the time. I collaborate. Now, Shape Your Reality. It's my lyrics, and it's my feelings about the band. It's what I wanted to do. My idea of shaping my reality was starting my own band. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of ironic in that way. But so that's the concept. If Angels Are Real is a song I wrote for friend who died. I happened to be writing that song when I got the call that he died, and I was writing the vocal melodies, and it just came out of me as lyrics for a song, you know, because they're really deep and sad, and they almost sound like a ballad, but because I was writing that song, I was like, no, this is going to be the song for him, you know. Now, that's about all I wrote for the first album lyrically. Normally, I demo my vocals just singing na na na. Now, for the new album, I have concepts for lyrics, right? And then I have phrases and things that I know I want that. But I am waiting on the vocalist to develop it, especially because, like, I have, for example, I have a song that's going to be a story about a historical figure, right? It's not going to be about war, just a certain historical figure. And I know what I want the song, like, I know each part of the song, what I want to say, but not the words, you know, like not the actual phrase and how it has to flow. So I want to work with the singer on that.
All right. That's pretty cool. Your musical journey has been very, you know, saturated and intense, you know, throughout the years. You've been, you know, played with pretty much anyone, you know, right? It started from Doro to UDO at some point, right? How do you think, you know, and now you're establishing your own band, and obviously it's very different, you know, I assume, you know, from, you know, just working with those guys. But do you think working with especially those mastodons of heavy metal, have they helped you in development, and how they influenced, you know, what you're doing right now?
In many different ways. In many different ways. I owe basically everything to, you know, UDO, Doro, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. All my experience comes from that. I'll give you a big example of this. Okay, that is not even musical. When we did our first show at Sabaton Open Air, the main worry of any band, you know, is your first show. How are we going to look on stage? You know, are we going to bump into each other? Are we not going to know where to go? You know? So I did a rehearsal with the band, or actually it might have been even more than one, just on stage position, which is something that UDO used to do. Now, if I hadn't worked with UDO, that wouldn't even cross my mind. It doesn't cross any band's mind, you know? And during these rehearsals, what I figured out was this. Okay, we're going to go on stage. We don't know what we're going to hear. It's going to be hard. So we're going to take the Udo Dirk Schneider at school of stage. And because it's only me as a guitar player and the bass player and then the singer in the center, I'm like, we stay back until we sing. We do not move. We can move here, but we don't stay from the stage. You know, we stay back. We have an imaginary line. We stay here. We rock out here. When we have to reach the mic and sing, we move together. We sing and we come back. You know, which are things I've learned throughout my career that you don't think about. At the end of that show, this YouTuber guy from Sweden, Sungen, he's a very famous YouTuber there. He looked me straight in the eyes and he's like, dude, you guys look like Iron Maiden.
Nice.
How are you a new band? How, like, you guys knew exactly what you were doing. And that's what I told him. I'm like, it's really not that much. We just knew when to move, because you see new bands, what happens? Everybody's moving, they bump into each other. The singer is singing, so the guitar player comes and stands in front of him, you know, and then or the other guy is trying to sing, but the other guy is standing in front of his mic, so he has to push him away. That shit, we didn't go through any of that in NorthTale, because of my experience, and Patrick's too, because Patrick playing with Wasp with Ingve, you know, that's you need that. You need a drummer that's on top of his shit. You need a drummer that will be like, will see a tech fucking up and be like, you know what? Don't worry about it, man. I got it. You know, that's Patrick. I don't have to worry about the drums at all.
Nice.
You know, so working with professional bands brings a lot of things that, and they go beyond music. You know, I gave you an example with the stage. One thing with a stage for a first show, you know. But there's also, you know, because I know so many different songs from these bands, when I'm writing my own material, I have a huge catalog to draw from for examples, you know. I'll finish a part and be like, where do I go from here? Oh, remember that Doro song when this happened? Oh, I'll try that.
Okay.
You know. It's kind of like that.
It's pretty cool. And anything new you listen to right now? I mean, any new bands you can point out?
Honestly, man, I'm not a very open-minded guy when it comes to like more modern metal, because I listen to more when it comes to more modern music. I like stuff that's not metal. Like I've been sort of obsessed lately with like the Midnight, you know, the synthwave group. They play synthwave, the Midnight.
Okay.
I listen to Jason Mraz a lot. You know, I listen to Zad. I like electronic music a lot.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to metal, more modern metal, to me, like a band that I heard that I was like, okay, these guys are fucking killer. Was Monuments. You know, I was on the Guitar Players podcast yesterday, so I did some research on them. I'm like, this is cool. This is like modern Dream Theater. You know. Now, there's a lot of bands that are claiming to be modern Dream Theater, but these guys really are.
Actually,
you know, Tesseract is another band that I like a lot.
Yeah, Tesseract is cool.
Yeah, Tesseract is killer. And then there's the new school of power metal. You know, I mean, even though they're new bands, they're not really playing new music. Twilight Force, you know, Christian's old band. I fucking love that band. Glory Hammer also, you know, badass too. I'm trying to remember, but there's something recently that I heard that sort of blew my mind, and I can't remember what it was. It probably didn't blow my mind so much. I'm also like in a phase, because I go through phases. I'm in a phase when I'm listening to, because of the song I was writing, I'm listening to a lot of like Brazilian traditional music and like Baião, like and even bossa nova stuff. Tom Jobim, João Gilberto, you know, the more traditional. Miúcha is a singer. Elis Regina, it's, you know, it's more traditional Brazilian stuff. Yeah, man, I think it's about. I listen to a lot of different music. I really do, man. I like. It's hard to find music I don't like. Even the music that people like criticize a lot, like the more mainstream hip hop and stuff. I'm into even some of that stuff, or a lot of that stuff, you know, because it almost feels like most of the innovation when it comes to songwriting, production, and all that is in pop and hip hop. You know, like metal rediscovers itself. You know, it's different ways to make a guitar sound heavy, different ways to make a kick drum sound punchy. But at the end of the day, still guitar, bass, drums, and fats, you know, keyboards or whatever. And even the instrumentation gets boring to me sometimes. You know? So I don't know. I've been listening to soundtracks a lot too, man. I've been on a Hans Zimmer kick too. You know, because that's a composer that I always think that would, if this was 300 years ago, he would have just been a composer. You know, not a film composer. He would have been a composer. So yeah, a lot of things, man. I'm sorry if my answer is too vague.
No. It's actually a good one. You just touched a little bit about the stage experience, right? And
what experience? Sorry.
A stage experience you had with NorthTale, right? And you don't have to limit yourself to NorthTale only, but you can if you wish. Can you tell me one crazy ass story from your touring life? You know, one show that stuck out, or one just memory you cherish that you want to share.
Oh man, there's many. There's many. Probably the craziest memory, and I don't think that will change that fast. The craziest memory of my career so far is the whole. It's the show and the preparation around the Wacken Open Air 2015. Because I headlined that. Well, I didn't headline. I played guitar in Sabotage and Trans-Siberian Orchestra as headliners. The two stages, two bands playing the same song at the same time. And it was, you know, we had like a dream team of metal musicians. You know, Russell Allen from Symphony X on vocals, Jeff Scott Soto also on vocals, Zach Stevens from South on vocals, Vitaly Kupri, keyboard player for Ring of Fire on piano. I mean, it was like 20 singers and 14 band members or something.
Nice.
And Yeah, and I happened to be on the Sabotage stage, which I mean that was one of my favorite bands as a kid. So I got to play their reunion show.
Mhm.
That was pretty fucking badass.
Yeah.
Now the preparation, you know, because we rehearsed for this for 6 weeks. You know, here in Florida at Morrisound, you know, one band on each room. And then we moved on to like the fairgrounds and did rehearsals there. And then we all flew together to Germany. Just the whole thing was really cool. It really made you feel like a rock star, you know. And that was like my favorite to this day experience. And then the show, we're playing, you know, I'm playing my favorite songs in front of 90,000 people in Germany, you know. That be I don't know if, you know, unless Iron Maiden plans on hiring me in the next year, I don't know that you can.
Yeah, but Wacken crowd is absolutely crazy and insane as well. Oh, you got a
Yeah.
dog. Hey, doggy. What's his name?
Oh, Rico. That's Rico.
Hey,
I
Rico.
have 2 dogs. I have Rico and Paco, and 2 cats. Paco might come around at some point.
Nice, that's cool, man. All right, I'm very conscious of your time, man. Anything else you want to say to the fans? Anything, you know, you want to share with them, and you know, any message you wanna just
Absolutely. You know, I have to thank you guys, and you know, for all the support that we've gotten, because it's pretty insane. Because really, NorthTale didn't exist 2 years ago,
Yeah.
if you think about it. You know, so for us to have gone to Sweden and have gone to Japan and done all this, and you know, with the lineup change, I was really afraid that we would lose a bunch of fans, and we didn't. You know, we have our fan club. Thank you, Mona, by the way, for everything that you do. You know, we have our fan club. We have a good fan base that's sticking with us, and I need to tell you guys that I really appreciate what you're doing. We will not disappoint you. I promise you, the new singer will be, you know, as good or better than Christian. I know that's hard, man. Christian is a badass, but you know, we're gonna have someone of the caliber because those are big shoes to fill. And the new songs will, this I promise you, this will the goal here is to make the new album make Welcome to Paradise sound like shit. So
sounds great. That's very ambitious, man. And
yeah, that you know, I have to do it, man. It's you know, it's my baby, and it's gonna be done, and I know everybody's.
All right, I don't know how about the listeners, but you got me freaking excited, man, about the new album.
All right.
All right. Thanks
Good.
a lot. Again, I appreciate your time. Thanks a lot for jumping on the call. Stay safe. We hear some very disturbing news about what's going on in the United States right now. We know with everything, you know, just everything that is going on.
I'm not leaving my house, so I'm okay. I will never leave, ever.
Maybe that's not the best idea, because you know, I'm sure a lot of other fans are really excited to catch you on the road, you know, with on a tour for your next album, which will hopefully come out soon, man.
I can't wait. And hey, man, thank you so much for the interest and for giving me the opportunity to talk about this.
Absolutely, bro. All right, keep in touch. Thanks.
Take care.